Hello, can everyone hear me? Hello? Okay, perfect. Sorry, I didn't even have the chat open to see that. Okay, perfect. So y'all can see me. Are y'all able to see my PowerPoint? This little foods and nutrition PowerPoint? Perfect. Okay, let me do this. Okay, perfect. So, like Megan said earlier, my name is Ashley Cox, and I am the Family and Community Health Extension Agent in Somerville County. And I get to do a lot of fun stuff with our Food and Nutrition Project because that's just the area that I know the most about. It's the area that I was hired on to help with, all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun. And so, to tie into all of that kind of stuff that Laura was talking about earlier, I have just a couple little layout portions of what you would need if you wanted to get a foods and nutrition project started in your county. Or even if you already have one started, I have ideas for workshops and all that kind of stuff in order for you to grow it if you would like. And if y'all have any questions, feel free to unmute and stop me, or I'll try and keep up with the chat while I'm talking. But y'all feel free to make me stop if you have questions. Okay, so what I always like to tell volunteers to do when they are looking into getting a food and nutrition project started, or even if they have some interest in it and it's not already going, is I like to offer an intro night. So, sort of just a project introduction night into whatever project area you're doing. I recommend having this for any project area that you can think of because it just kind of lays down the base ground for this. It lays down that foundation and makes sure that everybody feels somewhat in the know of what's happening. And so I like to use this intro meeting. It's used to give them the basics of the whole project area. So, AKA the introduction to all that is foods and nutrition. So, I like to give the what. So, what is the foods and nutrition project? And there's usually a little blurb. I have a blurb right here. And so it's just a little blurb that'll go over what the Foods Nutrition Project is and why we do it. I also like to go ahead and have my dates lined out for at least contests for that year. I like to tell them what contests are available through the Foods Nutrition Project. So whether that be your county fair, like Creative Arts Division, or the little baking division at the county fair, or the food show for 4-H, either whether on county level, district level, all that, and then food challenge, and any other county contest or invitational contest that you have available that you would like to share. I like to have all that kind of stuff ready to go just so they can see it because a lot of times, and y'all probably already know this, schedules get very busy, and I like to go ahead and have those dates ready for everybody to have. Another thing that I like to offer up is a volunteer sign up. I like to have it an option if there are parents there that want to get involved. I like to have a sheet there where I can get their information down, just quick phone number, email, name, and what they're interested in helping with. That way, it doesn't all fall on you or whoever is already signed up. It's good to spread the wealth when it comes to volunteering. Let me Okay, so back to this project introduction. This is just the little project intro that I took off of the state website. So it's really whatever you want to do with that. Sorry, moving y'all into my screen. Okay, and so this kind of just gives them the buy-in. You want to introduce their project and actually just explain to them why you think this is a project or why they may think this is a project that they want to get involved in or their kids want to get involved in. And so you have to give them the why. You have to give them a buy-in into that project. And so a lot of times I'll go into, like this says, it's focusing on your nutrition, focusing on food preparation, safety, purchasing, and even can lead into careers. And so a lot of times my big thing when we're talking about this project is I want all of my 4-H members or any 4-H member that is involved, and really anybody, to be able to, when they go off and graduate and leave the house, they need to be able to cook for themselves, and they need to be able to walk into a grocery store and be able to pick out a meal. And so that is a big thing that I talk about at that intro meeting, is why I think this project is important. Okay. Then I like to move into contests. And so I like to make sure that they know what all the options are. Right here, I have just the specific 4-H ones, but a lot of times, and like I said, you want to base everything off of what you're doing in your county. So you want to add in that county, your county livestock show. If y'all have a foods nutrition or portion to that, I like to add that in there. And also I like to have all the rules and guidelines for that as well. But for right now, we're just focusing on the food challenge and the food show. And so with that, like I said earlier, I like to have my dates. I like to have my registration deadlines for county contests, as long as, along with any other registration deadlines they need. And then I also like to have dates for county contests and district contests. That way those are already on their calendars. I like to go ahead and have all of my rules and guidelines, which are found in those contest letters, which are on the district website. And also there's state manuals that you can find on the Texas 4-H website. And I have links to all that later on. But those are good things that I like to have available. That way you can go ahead and go through some of those rules and guidelines with them. And so they kind of get familiar with that wording, and they can ask any questions that they want to ask. Okay. And so here is a little layout of food challenge. I like to have as many aspects as I can with these contests. That way, if they've never heard of it before, they at least have some bullet points to go off of. And so I have the food challenge, the team contest for 3 to 4 team members. You get one mystery ingredient, 40 minutes to gather information and make a dish, and then I like to include what all's in their presentation. And a lot of times along with that contest letter, you have those score sheets. And I like to show them the score sheets and to tell and have them know what the judges are going to be looking for. And then I always like to offer up an opportunity for them to ask questions. Same thing with food show. I talk about how this is an individual contest, so if you have members that aren't necessarily into the whole team thing, there's always an option for them to do an individual contest, and this is one where they're going to prepare the dish ahead of time. I like to tell them what's going to be in their presentation and then give them the opportunity to answer questions or ask questions. Okay, so moving forward with our contest portion of this, is I like to, like I said, have all my dates lined up. I like to go through what is a county contest and what all those entail, and then how district contests are going to be your qualifying contest. You have to qualify from county contests to be able to get into district. And then I also like to have all of these major and invitational options just out there for them to know about if they are interested in getting involved. A lot of times, if you have those newer families, they're not going to be so into doing the whole major show competitions or invitational competitions, but it's always an option, and I like to have those out there. And I always like to have some little blurb down here that says be watching for information as it comes in, because there's always going to be some changes with stuff. Okay, here is where we get into that nitty-gritty. Like Laura was talking about earlier, we have to it is best practice to offer up to 6 different workshop activities or learning opportunities. And so with those, like I said earlier, I like to have most of my dates, if not all of my dates, already lined up and have those on a spreadsheet in order to hand to those parents. That way they know, hey, this is when these are going to be, this is what we're going to talk about. And I have a list of different workshop activities or topics that you can do. And one big thing when it comes to my workshops or when I tell people when they're getting ready to lead a workshop is you need to match your topics to your age range. And so a lot of times we've been in the process of trying to start a Clover Kids Club in our county. And so you need to make sure that some of these are going to match that age range. So you're not necessarily going to have knife skills with a bunch of Clover Kids. You can if you really want to with the kid safe knives. But we want to make sure that we're matching that age range. And so these are some of those different topics. I have some more down here. So menu planning, taste testing, holidays. I love a good holiday food workshop just because it's fun for everybody and you get to kind of relax a little bit more. And then if you have teams or anything like that that's wanting to focus more on contests, you can do the presentation building, recipe checks for food show, and then going over judges' questions. And then utensil game, knife skills, garnishing, mock contest, grocery games, all that kind of stuff. And these are just all used in order to build up their confidence skills and also just get them familiar with the Foods Nutrition Project as a whole. Do y'all have any questions on these workshop topics? I'm gonna assume get this. Okay, and Megan will have this PowerPoint available for everybody at the end. But here is all of these resources when it comes to building a project or building workshop ideas. And so these are all of the Explore guides that are available on the Texas 4-H website. And you can just click them and it'll take you, may not take you with this, take you to that Explore guide and give you all of those ideas. And then I also added in all of our District 8 4-H contest resources, and I wanted to make sure all of those are available. I like to have those ready for everybody. And then also our Texas 4-H Food Nutrition Project website, and have those ready. And these are just good things for y'all to have if you are interested in starting Foods and Nutrition Project, as well as have available to all of your parents and participants. Okay. So that was kind of short, sweet, and simple. Kind of like how I like to have it. Do y'all have any questions for me?
I do. Something that I find the most challenging is coming up with a key ingredient and the grocery store items. Where do you look for inspiration?
So for main ingredients for Food Challenge, I always like to kind of go on Pinterest and I will just search up a random ingredient. I'll search up like pineapple or pumpkin or something along those lines. And I like to kind of look at the recipes that you can get from those or just recipes that have those ingredients in them. And that kind of gives me a good idea as to what we could work with. And so really it's just a spitballing game at the beginning. And then I kind of build from there. And that builds my grocery store, that builds ideas for what I think they could do. Or a lot of times we have in our county, our volunteers, they like to have the same main ingredient across the board for all the different categories when we're doing food challenge. And so I like to be able to have that creativity through Pinterest or even just on some of those 4-H recipes that we have available. They give me a good idea as to grocery store items that can go in, if that helps.
That does. There's also the update with spices. Do you know if those have to be independent spices or if they can be blends like Italian seasoning?
So the way that it was interpreted to us is that it's up to the team. So it's up to whatever spices you would like to have in there. So you really get to pick whether herb, spice blend, all that kind of stuff, as long as it can be sold in that form, if that makes sense.
That does. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I know I was kind of fast and furious. If y'all have any more questions, feel free to ask. And if you don't have any more questions, you're free to go or try and make it into a different breakout room, however you would like to.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank y'all.